Spider-Man versus... It's not even close. Speed, easily invincible, don't even question it. Spider-Man can't even move without buildings. Put him in the suburbs and he'll be doomed. He would have no way to compete with Invincible in speed. Even if he had skyscrapers, he couldn't compete either way. Reaction time, don't be stupid, it's obviously Spider-Man. He has a spider sense, so he could definitely dodge any of Mark's attacks without even seeing them. And do I even have to mention this scene? Agility goes straight to Invincible, and I know you think straight away of Spider-Man because he has a spidey sense, but that doesn't really count. Mark was able to dodge multiple laser beams during combat, but then you could say Spider-Man dodged Electro's electric beams or whatever you want to call them. In every version of Spider-Man, he's been able to dodge Electro's attacks, so you could say that they're equal. So just forget I said anything. They both get a point. Experience. Mark has none, so we go straight to Spider-Man. Yes, Mark has still done a lot of things in Season 1, but he hasn't gone against as many different enemies as Spider-Man has. When he's gone against the Sinister Six, which are tons of unique characters. 6 of them to be exact. Skill goes straight to Spider-Man, mostly because Mark has no experience. Combat, straight to Spider-Man, don't even ask any questions because Mark's fighting style is extremely basic. He's just throwing hands and maybe even flying into people, nothing else. And have you seen Mark throw a single kick? Because I definitely haven't, and if it was solely based on combat, Mark's getting turned into Ben Askren. And yes, you could say Mark had some training and Peter didn't, but Mark's training was just throwing one punch and then getting one tapped by his father. Abilities go straight to Spider-Man, obviously. All Mark has is flight and strength. He's a basic hero unless I'm missing something, but all the Viltrumites don't have anything other than flight and strength. Attack potency. I'm going to say Mark because his travel speed and strength are just far greater than Spider-Man's. Yes, Spider-Man has some great feats like punching a Scorpion's jaw clean off, but Mark can easily rip superheroes in half with his bare hands. Stamina. Mark fought an entire generational army twice on his first week of the job, and I think Spider-Man could maybe do something like that, but he would definitely break a sweat or need a lot more help. Feats. I'm going to say Mark because of the things he's done Spider-Man could never do, or he couldn't do it as quickly. Just look back at the army, and do you really think Spider-Man could clean up the same way Mark did in the same time? And yes, he did have help, but if Spidey did, he wouldn't do it the same either way. He probably wouldn't have got that old lady though. Hey, you, subscribe! Healing ability / recovery. Mark has been beaten senseless many times, and he was okay a couple days after that. And yes, I think they gave him a little bit of juice, I'm not sure, but they also do mention that Viltrumites have some sort of special healing ability, so there's no contest to this one. Strength. It's Mark, it's just Mark, and I swear if any of you question this, just look at this.
To helping another Viltrumite lift a giant cruise ship that can weigh over 150,000 to 200,000 gross tons.
That's so much more than Spider-Man's train, but Spider-Man has been able to put up with Deadpool for multiple issues. And I personally don't think Mark could, but Mark still gets this point. IQ. Don't even think about this. It's Spider-Man. I don't even have to explain this to you. Battle IQ, it's Spider-Man, mostly because he's been in more fights with more people with different abilities than Mark. The people Mark have gone against are cyborgs, a wolf guy, a gravity guy, and his father. Oh yeah, and that whole army. But the last two gave up halfway because it just wasn't worth it, or they were related to them. And yeah, he defeated the gravity guy, but Spider-Man could have done that too. And the other people were more like children with Nerf guns to Mark. So this one goes to Spidey. Experience. Spider-Man, he's been doing it for a while before Mark even had powers, and don't even start by saying Mark fought stronger villains because they put him in a casket every single time they fought. And Spider-Man's gone against more villains that have lost to him, and they weren't holding back, unlike Omni-Man and the wolf guy at the end. Durability. Honestly, this is where nothing else matters, because Mark had a whole damn train run on him.
Hey, yo!
And bro didn't even have a scratch. The most he had was a little bit of emotional damage. Spidey just couldn't handle any of the punishment that Mark has gone through. Even if Spider-Man had him on most of the other parts, it still wouldn't matter. It would be like shooting Brock Lesnar with a water pistol. It just wouldn't do anything, and once Mark catches Spider-Man, it's game over.